Phuket or Koh Phangan for working remotely? Which one is best? Spoiler alert, Phuket. It's a lot better. I scored a 10. Koh Phangan, I scored a 7. And if you want to see videos where I focus on each place, you can click on the links above. So Phuket versus Koh Phangan, really important though. When saying Phuket, it's talking about the southern part of the island or Rawai, not Patong. So Phuket is not Patong. Koh Phangan is really popular with some people. So what you're not going to get in Phuket that you get in Koh Phangan, you get in Koh Phangan really cheap cost of living. So if you're looking for that $500 a month cost of living, you're not going to get that in Phuket. If you're looking for that jungle vibe away from civilization, Phuket is not for you. If you're looking for that hippie vibe, Phuket is not for you. You're better off in Koh Phangan. But for all these other items listed on the screen, this is where Phuket is better than Koh Phangan. So let's start with infrastructure, roads, electricity. When you're in Koh Phangan, the roads are terrible, they're dangerous, and there's sand everywhere. You see scooter crashes all the time and people walking around with bandages. You don't get that in Phuket. You have nicely paved roads. They're not always safe in regard to drivers, but overall it's a much safer experience than driving around in Koh Phangan on the sandy roads. Infrastructure in regard to electric. If you're working remotely, in Koh Phangan, every so often, the power goes out. Phuket is much better. Just because of all that sand on the roads in Koh Phangan and the power outages, their infrastructure scores a 2. It's dangerous to be on a scooter in Koh Phangan. Whereas in Phuket, it's relatively great infrastructure, it's a 9. In regard to cultural diversity, in the context of this video, where we're comparing Koh Phangan to Phuket, Koh Phangan scores really low. Why? Because it's pretty vanilla. You have a lot of Western people. You don't have a lot of the Thai culture. Whereas in Phuket, you have rich Thai culture. You have the influence of the Chinese culture, especially where we are now, like in Phuket town. And then if you go to the south of the island, where it's probably the best place in the world to work remotely in Rawai, you have a lot of Muslim influence, not to mention Phuket internationally is one of the most popular tourist destinations in the world. So you get people from all over the world, the Middle East, Russia, Europe, literally from all over the world. So for cultural diversity, Phuket scores like a 9, and Koh Phangan, because it's so vanilla and you don't get a lot of that rich Thai culture, scores about a 4. Healthcare, Koh Phangan versus Phuket. And for all the younger digital nomads watching this, they're probably saying, healthcare, who needs healthcare? Well, what I promise you, in Koh Phangan, if you're in Koh Phangan riding a scooter, you need healthcare. In context of this video, there's no comparison. Koh Phangan, because the hospital is not a major hospital, if you get seriously hurt, you have to take a boat to Koh Samui or even sometimes transport to Bangkok. Whereas in Phuket, you're going to be in good hands. So Phuket scores like an 8 and Koh Phangan a 2 for healthcare. Okay, how about housing? Koh Phangan versus Phuket, it's not even close. In regard to how many housing options and the level of comfort, there are options in Koh Phangan that are quite nice, but you don't have the quantity. In Phuket, you have so many different places to choose from, and it's relatively affordable. So if you're looking to spend maybe $1,000 a month, Phuket definitely has better housing options. Phuket's like a 9 in regard to housing options and affordability and comfort. Koh Phangan, in regard to options, affordability, and comfort in regard to housing, is about a 5. The outdoors, nature, Koh Phangan versus Phuket. You know, Koh Phangan's pretty good. And you have all these beautiful waterfalls. You have, of course, the ocean. You can do some hiking, and it's quite beautiful. And you can get out in nature and explore. It's really good, but Phuket has all that and more. As a matter of fact, the coast and the ocean and the beaches in Phuket are more beautiful than Koh Phangan. So on nature and the outdoors, Koh Phangan and Phuket are pretty close, but Phuket is probably better just because you have beaches and surf and the ocean is so beautiful. So Phuket scores about a 9. Koh Phangan maybe an 8. A lot of people go to Koh Phangan for fitness and to get healthy. So they go to the gyms, they go to Muay Thai, they do yoga. And again, for Koh Phangan compared to Phuket, it's not even close. Koh Phangan has great options, especially for yoga. In fact, it's better for yoga options compared to Phuket. But on everything else, in regard to fitness, Phuket is much better. Why? The facilities are so nice. So in Phuket, you have these immaculate gyms. Whereas in Koh Phangan, they're pretty rugged and raw. They lack equipment compared to what you have in Phuket. Phuket, you have a whole alley of fitness options, Muay Thai, high intensity training, gyms, yoga, everything you can imagine. So in regard to fitness, Phuket scores a 10. Koh Phangan, just because the facilities are kind of rough, scores about a 6. Entertainment, Koh Phangan versus Phuket. In Koh Phangan, you're not going to beat like the natural entertainment. So you go to like a fire pit ceremony. There's a DJ every night of the week playing out in the jungle. You get all that jungle vibes. You can go to the beach, Zen Beach, every evening and do acro yoga. You can go have some soulful experience like a cacao ceremony or kirtan singing at a yoga studio. In Phuket, you have all that and then some. In Phuket, you have the options of a more, I guess you have all these 5-star resorts where they have events almost every night of the week. You have the Cafe Del Mar type of beach lounges. You can go to Phuket Town and have fine dining, dress up, go out and have a nice evening with wine and date. Or in Phuket, something you have nothing like in Koh Phangan is you can go to a movie and go to a theater. So people go to Koh Phangan to get away from all that. But in regard to entertainment and options, Phuket scores about a 9. Koh Phangan, because it's limited to the nature entertainment, which is enough for some people, it scores about a 6. Let's talk about food. Food in Koh Phangan, first and foremost, the vegan food in Koh Phangan is probably some of the best in the world. It's a perfect 10. When it comes to fine dining and just great food in general, I think Phuket has some of the best Thai food in Thailand. And then you have all these other options because you have 5-star resorts here, which all have exclusive, incredible restaurants. And then you have what might be the very best street market in Thailand, the Sunday Walking Street in Phuket, with so much amazing local food. So if you're looking for street food, international food, a 5-star experience, Phuket is your place. And for that reason, Koh Phangan is really limited compared to Phuket. So Koh Phangan for food, even though the vegan food is amazing, just because of lack of options, it scores about a 6. And Phuket scores a 10. What about service design in Koh Phangan and Phuket? What I mean by that is, if you watch my Koh Phangan video, you see I scored an overall 7 for working remotely. And one of the reasons is I could just never feel really comfortable. I think Koh Phangan's a great place to go work for maybe a week. And if it's only a week, it scores like an 8. But if you're someone who likes to spend a little extra money, enjoy fine dining, going to a movie theater, going to really nice facilities for, say, fitness, Phuket's about a 10. And Koh Phangan just cannot compare to Phuket in regard to service design and all the 5-star resorts and just feeling more comfortable whether you're on a scooter or when you go back to your condo or your hotel. So for the sake of this video, service design, Phuket scores about a 10, Koh Phangan about a 4. Koh Phangan or Phuket, we're comparing places to work remotely. Koh Phangan versus Phuket. Important to point out what Phuket isn't. So, for those that go to Koh Phangan to pay really cheap cost of living, like 15,000 baht a month or $450 a month, you're not going to find that in Phuket. For those of you who like the hippie experience, go to Koh Phangan. Phuket's not for you. For those of you who want the wellness scene and all the yoga, skip Phuket. Go to Koh Phangan. My final comparison, Phuket versus working remotely in Koh Phangan. If you're going to work remotely from Koh Phangan, do it for a week. You would score about an 8. But when it gets longer than that, there's no comparison. Phuket, mainly because of infrastructure, it's just more of a comfortable experience. If you're willing to spend a little money on your cost of living, you can't beat it. But Phuket is not Patong. Talking about the southern part of Phuket, Rawai. It's a 10. It's one of the best places in the world right now to work remotely. What's your favorite city to work remotely right now post-pandemic? Or what city in Asia would you like to see me feature next and score as a place to work remotely?